Good evening. Top of the bill on Sports Night tonight, FA Cup football. Now, last night, Andy Cole's late show put Manchester United in round 4.
Cole's there, and Cole's won it!
Les Ferdinand's last-minute effort saved Newcastle at Chelsea. We have tonight's replay from St James's Park.
Ferdinand, goalkeeper comes to meet, and Ferdinand has equalised!
Dane Whitehouse kept Sheffield United in business at Highbury. Another tough test for Arsenal tonight at Bramall Lane. And this goal by Ian Helliwell meant the cup holders Everton had to visit second division Stockport County tonight. After the football, we'll hear about cricket's own goal in the Devon Malcolm affair. And, of course, the goal for Will Carling is another England Grand Slam. We look ahead to the Five Nations Championship, which begins on Saturday. First, it's the Littlewood-sponsored FA Cup and those third-round replays. Alan Hansen keeping an eye on some terrific matches with us tonight. And we begin at Bramall Lane with First Division Sheffield United, yet to win under new manager Howard Kendall, against the Arsenal. The winners home to Aston Villa in round 4. The commentary from Clive Tilsley.
Sheffield United take to the road to Wembley in the charge of a man who knows his way. Howard Kendall, a 17-year-old cup finalist as a player, a cup winner as a manager. He's only been here for a month or so, but already he's brought in 6 new players. The latest of them, Don Hutchison, is not eligible tonight, but Chris Short and Michel Vonk play in defence, Gordon Cowans and Mark Patterson in midfield, and David White in attack. There's also a new face in the Arsenal defence, and that's a rarity, but with Steve Bold injured and Nigel Winterburn suspended, 20-year-old Gavin McGowan is getting his chance at left back. One thing that never seems to change at Arsenal is the Ian Wright goal supply. 2 more last Wednesday night, took his team into the League Cup semi-finals and took his total to 139 Arsenal goals, a number that only John Radford and Cliff Bastin have ever bettered. Paul Durkin is the man in charge. There are 1 or 2 cup skeletons in Arsenal's closet. Millwall, Bolton, Wrexham. They've all caused major upsets at Arsenal's expense in recent years. McGowan in. Michel Vonk. Now Ward. Oh, the old stumble. Whitehouse with a header. It was Dane Whitehouse's goal past David Seaman in the last 12 minutes at Highbury, which made this replay necessary. And both he and Lee Dixon fell to the ground, but Whitehouse recovered sufficiently to test Seaman, to stretch him actually. Mercy's header, only as far as Cowans. Patterson. Paul Merson doing some good work down by his own corner flag. Got some more to do. Very coolly picking out David Platt. David White. Beautifully played for Mitch Ward. Chance for Beard. Kieran got in some kind of a challenge. And Carl Beard has to settle for a corner kick. What a pass from David White, though, to pick out Mitch Ward in the first place. Towards Tuttle at the near post, Keown did well again. Helder didn't do quite so well. This is Veert. Blocked by Jensen that time. Some important work being done in front of David Seaman. Short, look at the space for him. Turned away to White. Oh! How unlucky can you be? Vitz there with a header. David White, a whisker away from giving Sheffield United the lead. David Seaman didn't know it had happened. Broke off Jensen and just bounced a yard the right side of the line as far as Seaman was concerned. Header away was by Tuttle. Dixon. There's Platt. That's the sort of area that we became so accustomed to seeing him in with Aston Villa, and he was last a part of the English scene. He's done that once or twice for England down the years too. Held up. Ian Wright running free. And Fox making up for his earlier mistake. And then Cowan's giving it back to Wright. And now held up. Well, he did eventually break his Arsenal duck at Middlesbrough on Saturday. At the 36th time of asking, Glenn held up. But his finishing has not been the most impressive part of his play in England. And for that, Gordon Cowans will be mighty thankful. Foul by McGowan on Ward. Out comes the yellow card. It was his 20th birthday just yesterday, Gavin McGowan. And this is only his 6th senior appearance for Arsenal. It's like trying to break into a secret sect, getting a place in that Arsenal back four. I think Bruce Rioch just has a rubber stamp which he puts on the team sheet. Dixon, Adams, Bold, Winterburn, but not at the moment. Fox header. He's a big man, Michel Vonk, 6'3". McGowan has found Bergkamp. This is held up. Jensen. Dixon. Merson. More promise about this Arsenal attack. Squeeze back to Bergkamp. Set up for Lee Dixon. First clear side of goal that an Arsenal player's had. Paul Merson pulled it back for Dennis Bergkamp, and he just rolled it invitingly into the path of Lee Dixon. Stoppage time at the end of the first half. Held up. Here's Bergkamp. Going for goal. Alan Kelly hasn't had much to do. He was outstanding, of course, against Bergkamp and Holland at Anfield in that European Championship playoff game before Christmas. And he hasn't been stretched this evening. Bergkamp. Good strong defending by Vonk. White to Patterson. Whitehouse is on his way. And what a pass that is from Mark Patterson. Dane Whitehouse against Andy Linnigan. He's done well, and Mark Veart has done very well. And at last, Sheffield United take the lead. What a really good goal. Howard Kendall trying to hide his emotions, but he must be proud of that. Beautifully played into the path of Whitehouse, who just stood Linnigan up, stole half a yard. Veart got ahead of Keown at the near post, and Sheffield United take a deserved lead. What a pass from Mark Patterson, though, to spring the Arsenal defence. And for once, the central defenders lost their man. Almost a resigned look on Bruce Rioch's face then. Ward. He's done well. Chris Shaw. It's there again, but so too are the big hands of David Seaman. Paul Merson. He's run straight into trouble in the shape of Patterson. And this is Tuttle. And this is Veer. White. Bit of bravado now in the Sheffield United ranks. They're actually making a one-goal lead look reasonably comfortable. Mitch Ward. Chris Shaw. Nice move shown about the cross. Oh, well left by Wright. This is Dennis Bergkamp. Now Paul Merson. Well, there were three in there. Merson couldn't pick out any of them. Tony Adams had got forward. Kieran appealing for offside, but he has to deal with it. Last 15 minutes. Platt's in there, attack that. Showed an appetite for goal there, David Platt. It was inviting from Linnigan, but Platt went there with real purpose. Loose one from Linnigan. Veer. Now Ward. Veer this time is short. Now Cowans. Some spin on that. Broke kindly for Merson to feed Bergkamp. And now Wright! Some good defending there by Michel Vaughan. Made it difficult for Ian Wright. Wright applauds the service. There hasn't been much service tonight. He actually got in front of Vaughan, but the big man was there blocking out the light. Bergkamp. Good challenge by Patterson, on by Veer. Here goes White. David White. Powerful ground shot from David White. Took responsibility, forced Seaman to make the save. Ian Wright. Now or never for Arsenal. Took the deflection and hit the post. It's a corner. Well, they've been in some tight corners in the past, Arsenal, but if ever they've needed a goal from Ian Wright, it's now. Last 5 minutes. Helder will take the corner. In goes Platt. Good chance. Didn't miss by much, but he wasn't far out. After Ian Wright had clipped the outside of the post by Tuttle. Oh, and there was a touch from Kelly too, and that might just have made the difference from the goalkeeper. It's a bit hectic back there now, more so than at any other stage of the night. But Sheffield United, to the delight of their supporters, are hanging in. And let's not forget this Sheffield United team are still to win a game for him. Merson to Helder. Would be a great way to get off the mark tonight. Can Arsenal stop him? Merson. Past Patterson. Jabbed into Flower. It's Ward who gets it away. They're defending those trenches manfully. Steered in by McGowan. Steered away by Patterson. David White, and here goes Carl Veer, the Australian who got the all-important goal. He's got support too. Glenn Hodges is forward. It'll come for him. And he'll just slow it down. The seconds, the last few seconds ticking away agonisingly slowly. We have played a minute of stoppage time, and Cowans has found Hodges. In goes White. Out it goes via Linnigan. McGowan. One back by Short. Pull back. Be it! Oh, what a save that is from David Seaman. Well, if Arsenal do dig themselves out of this hole, and it's very unlikely, that will be remembered as one of the moments in the FA Cup this season. An astonishing stop by David Seaman, denying Carl Veer a second goal. Mark Patterson. Mitch Ward. Glenn Hodges. Arsenal can't save it without the ball. Well, the third round of the FA Cup never fails to disappoint. There's always something to remember it by, and this year it's another early exit for Arsenal at the hands of struggling Sheffield United, in the masterful hands now of Howard Kendall. Wembley is still in Arsenal sights in the Coca-Cola Cup. In the FA Cup, it's Howard Kendall and Sheffield United that will host Aston Villa in the fourth round on Sunday week. And Villa won't like what they've seen tonight one little bit.
I mean, we've had a full house here tonight. I mean, they've been waiting to come along and see us. I mean, there's been made a lot of changes at this club. We're playing against a side full of international players who've cost a lot of money, and I think that we've shown the public what a good side we are.
Sheffield United wanted it more than we did. They had more players who wanted it. They were up for the game, and we had some players up for the game, but not enough. And if you don't want to be up for the fourth round or the third round of the FA Cup, because the outcome in the long term can be a trip to Wembley, if you're not ready for that, then you know, we've got to look at that very carefully.
It's amazing you turn the clock back 7 days to beating Newcastle last Wednesday night. It was a far cry from that, wasn't it?
As Greavesy would say, it's a funny old game, and it is a funny old game. And we've had some good performances in the past week, but tonight's was a performance that lacked some fire in the belly.
How do you explain the difference then?
Well, I think, you know, it's said many times that in the FA Cup or Cup ties, teams raise themselves. They give that not just a 10%, but probably another 20-30% effort and energy. Sheffield are under a new manager, good manager. The players are playing for their careers at this club. New players have come in, want to play well, and he's motivated them and lifted them. And you don't need any more motivation than playing Arsenal, because everybody wants to beat an Arsenal team. And they've gone out and done that tonight.
Well, how do you address the fact that some of your players couldn't match that motivation tonight?
Well, that's for us to address.
Were you aware of the FA Cup and all it means when you were back home in Australia?
Certainly was. It's, I suppose it's the biggest cup competition in the world. And since I've been a little boy, I've always watched the FA Cup.
Bring on the Villa.
That'll be tremendous. I mean, somewhere Gordon Cowans in the dressing room there, you know. I mean, when you think that the years he had there, successful years, and he's got Villa in the FA Cup, he probably never thought that he would see that day, but it will be here in a couple of weeks.
Well, Sheffield United got something of a recent cup tradition. They've been in the semi-final a couple of years ago, but that's a great boost for Howard Kendall, having just started as manager there.
Well, definitely, and I thought that he's got far too much know-how not to be in the game of football. He had an unhappy time at Notts County, but he's back in a job, and for me, it's lucky Sheffield United. Obviously, Bruce Ray was right when he's talking about the passion and the commitment. If you go away from home in this competition and you've got 3 or 4 players missing, you're in big trouble. Sheffield United had all the belief tonight that Howard Kendall is great at motivating players, getting them playing for each other, and they showed that right from the kick-off, and really they thoroughly deserved to win the game because Seaman had 4 great saves and it could have been 2 or 3.
It's a tough one for Villa next time. That's our live match on Sunday,
Yeah,
as you know.
you wouldn't want to be going there. If they play anything like that.
We've got to go
Yeah, but no, Villa wouldn't want to be going there. I mean, Villa are going well in the Premiership and they're a very good team. But if Sheffield United play anything like that, then they'll give Villa a hard time.
Thanks, Al. Now, last Sunday week, Chelsea looked home and dry against Newcastle. Then a spot of last-minute craziness let Les Ferdinand in to produce tonight's replay at St James's Park. Could Chelsea dent that 100% home record? Barry Davis was there to find out.
It's happy 35th birthday for tomorrow to Peter Beardsley, and welcome to the FA Cup to 34-year-old Ruud Gullit. 2 great players, one of whom will be disappointed at the evening's end. In all, there are 5 changes in personnel compared with the match at Stamford Bridge 10 days ago. 3 of them in the Newcastle lineup. John Beresford, Lee Clark and Steve Watson come in. They replace Robbie Elliott, and 2 who failed fitness tests today, Steve Howie and Rob Lee. But a 3rd who took a test, Les Ferdinand, the man whose goal brought this replay about, maintains his record of being in every starting lineup this season. But the man who, sadly for him, helped to give Ferdinand the chance to save the day for Newcastle, Dimitri Karin, is missing from the Chelsea lineup. He has a groin strain. Their other change is Ruud Gullit in place of Paul Furlong. The goalkeeper is Kevin Hitchcock. Mark Hughes, whose goal gave Chelsea the lead in the 35th minute of the first match, gets the replay underway against a side with a 100% record on their home pitch. No change in the referee, Stephen Lodge of Barnsley. Petrescu. Useful for Phelan. Hughes in the middle. And still, Spencer. Blocked by Watson. Right start by Chelsea. Good cover, Ginola. Get it away again, Petrescu. Taken off his toe by Peacock. Well, I don't know what the hands in the air signified, but it certainly didn't work. Good running, Kitson. Phelan with him. Ferdinand far side. This is Watson. Hesitated. Had a chance to go around the outside, but really didn't make up his mind. It's a bit short. Lee was equal to the task. Didn't see any observation made, but it was hooded after all. Nice killed back pass. Barton. Ferdinand, misjudgment by Lee. And Hitchcock has come for it, couldn't claim it. Timely moment. Crown was too much for Ferdinand as well. And Hoddle with words to say, hugely disappointed with a very late goal in the first match. Good running by Hoddle, if it's played, no! But it wasn't. Here he is on the left. not in such a threatening position. Neatly done, but there were too many around him. But he could have been played in down the middle. He had the vision to make the run. The man in possession did not have equal vision. It's not a bad attempt by Andy Myers. But it was a great run by Hullet. Slight puff of the cheeks. Ferdinand. Kitson wouldn't come down for either him or Dewberry. A bit of push and shove between the two followed it. Beresford. Ginola. Change of mind, he beat himself. Ball by Wise. Well spread by Hughes. Spencer in possession. Hullet the furthest forward. And that's still the case. Now Petrescu on the right side. Hits it well, and it's well saved. But he allowed himself to let it run a little further to make sure of the shot. But that put the angle rather more in favour of Cernicek. Ferdinand. Good try! Hit the post! Wonderful shot on the turn. Listen to the applause for Les Ferdinand. Hitchcock was nowhere near it. Spencer, well in by Peacock. Ferdinand. Beardsley, Ferdinand. Brushed, really, no more. It's not quite as cold as those two are making it seem. It's really quite mild. What a ball by Hullet to Phelan, who thought he was pulled a bit. So did Hullet, but it was quite magnificent. Must have been better part of 50 yards, that pass. Just couldn't get it in stride. Still chuntering a bit about that. Free kick to Newcastle. Albert forward. Climax. Foul by Peacock, who complains to the referee and will be the first name to go in the book. Referee has no option. Difference in physique, certainly, but he lent in. Ferdinand, good pace, free kick against Lee. There were three players behind him, but he was going in with an intention of finding the shot. One or two with points to make. Yellow card. Wise push back. Albert got a deflection, that's it! Smiles on the bench. Deflected off Dennis Wise. He was the man on the edge of the wall.
First goal for Newcastle and the scorer, Philip Albert.
But as you could probably hear from the public address announcer, the scorer, as far as Newcastle are concerned, not this man who made the deflection, but Philippe Albert, the Belgian. Just the one goal in the half came from the set piece. Philippe Albert's shot coming off the end of the wall where the brick was Dennis Wise, and the home side lead at half-time. Stephen Hodge gets the second half of this third round replay of the Littlewood-sponsored FA Cup underway. Newcastle now playing left to right. Beardsley, comfortably cut out by John Spencer. Pull it, and straight into Albert, who was beautifully poised. Ferdinand. Glenn Hoddle in the foreground there would have earned his corner at half-time. Late equaliser at Stamford Bridge, a deflected goal here, and also the incident involving Barton and Phelan, which didn't go Chelsea's way. Bullet, chased by Beardsley. This is Newton. Barton. Staked by Myers, and still. Referee called the challenge there, Evans. This is Beardsley. Oh, he did well. Ginola! Lovely strike by David Ginola. But how well did Beardsley do? Managed to get it out to him, and he hit it first time. Just the wrong side of the post. And a slight hesitation, and Hitchcock over the top in the end, but Andy Myers inquiring why he didn't come for the ball earlier. Changed his mind, and it was a really good stop. But Myers seemed to have a bit of a pull here. He was trying to pull back Kitson, that's for sure. And in the end, the defender went down. And I think he was expecting his goalkeeper to come and claim that. And in the centre circle, there's Ferdinand, who's been troubled by an Achilles injury, is also getting attention, but not, it would seem, for that injury. Andy Myers having to be helped off. And Ferdinand, it does seem to be higher than that, coming off for some attention. So both sides at the moment with 10 men, but not for long. Back comes Ferdinand, and on for Chelsea comes Steve Clarke, number 2 there. Came off Clarke, in fact. Didn't know much about it. Put it. And Chelsea sort out the defensive work. And Andy Myers goes off on the stretcher. Played an hour of this replay, and here's John Spencer with a real chance, and the referee's given the penalty. Peacock is going to protest, and Peacock has already been booked. It was he who made the challenge. They're looking at the linesman. The ball is on the spot. Yellow card for Peacock, red card for Peacock. Didn't get the ball, got the legs of the referee. Spencer went down appealing. And Darren Peacock, who's played so well in this match, comes off having conceded the penalty, which Dennis Wise will take, and from which he scores. It's 1-1. Newcastle have to play for just under half an hour with only 10 men, and the contest is now all square. Confidence of the Londoner to hit it while the applause was ringing around the ground for Peacock. No fear from him. Concern now for the home team. Sudden swing of fortune. Beresford. Ginola, beautifully away from Petrescu. Kitson in the middle. Ferdinand slightly behind the play. He's now forward. Looks too long, but nobody's taken control. Kitson. And the referee has pointed to the spot. We've got a second penalty from a hugely untidy challenge. Kitson, who went down, but it was because they let the ball go. Hoddle can't believe it. Lee, who made the challenge, there was an arm there on the back, and it was enough for the referee to point to the spot, but it was because nobody took control as the ball went across. Ginola was allowed to win it, and the penalty resulted. Lee on Kitson, and Peter Beardsley has the chance for the celebration of his 35th birthday, which he takes. Beautifully sending Hitchcock the wrong way. Newton, Clark, Wise, Hullett, forward to the right of Hughes. This is he, Spencer, great stop. Instinctive reactions, acrobatics from Albert. Really good block though by Pavel Cernicek. News of the injuries, Ferdinand has a back problem and Andy Myers more serious. It's a serious hamstring injury. Spencer came to Hullett and it's turned away. The ball was hanging in the air. It had come further across. Hullett was in fact better placed. This is Spencer. Hullett now. Yes! Ruud Hullett has made it 2-2. The Dutchman has had his say. Might have done so a few seconds earlier. Long cross from Spencer, the nod down from Dewberry, and in by Hullett. Nothing that Cernicek could do about it. Peel by Albert, but it's 2-2. Extraordinary cup tie. Up and under, offside Hullett. Referee has another look at the watch. And extra time there will be. 2-2 the outcome after 90 minutes. Ruud Hullett saving the day for Chelsea against the 10 men of Newcastle. We now have another 30 minutes to survive with those 10 men.
Well, there were no further goals in extra time. Now it was the dreaded penalties.
The last time that Newcastle lost an FA Cup tie here, it was against Bournemouth in January 1992. Third match, one was postponed because of fog, or abandoned because of fog. They lost on penalties 4-3. The Newcastle captain, Peter Beardsley, the first to strike. And he hits the crossbar. Would you believe it? Chance for David Lee to put Chelsea ahead. David Lee, who conceded the penalty, but unlike Darren Peacock, was not booked for a second time and therefore stayed on. The referee says it was an innocuous challenge, but he gave the penalty. Now Lee takes his penalty. And Chelsea lead. Straight down the middle from whence the goalkeeper had moved. Steve Watson next. Kevin Hitchcock didn't have to do anything last time. But he does this. Two failures for Newcastle. Side foot, and he got across well. Didn't have the power. Dennis Wise. Chelsea lead 1-0. They now lead 2-0. Well placed. John Beresford. And really he has to score to give Newcastle hope. And he does, with real venom. Two-1. But Chelsea still with their third man to play. Former Newcastle United player Gavin Precock. (3-1) Chelsea. Again, well placed, side foot, but side foot with power. And I wonder if the Frenchman, David Ginola, ever thought it would come to this. And there's a slight delay, which puts extra demands, and in fact the order is not correct. B for Belgium comes before F for France. Philippe Albert. 1-3. Two out of four for the home side. Three out of three so far for Chelsea. Next is Eddie Newton. They've gone to celebrate the victory. Don't need any more. Glenn Hoddle has, I'm sure he's feeling, won this tie for the second time. He thought he'd done it at Stamford Bridge. He has done it now in unlikely circumstances. Kevin Hitchcock with the one save. Put it is who ends the day with a smile. And Peter Beardsley on the eve of his birthday with a frown. Lee, Wise, Peacock and Newton decisive in the penalty competition. Newcastle go out. Chelsea make the short journey to Loftus Road to play Queen's Park Rangers in round 4. You can only feel huge sympathy for any team that loses in the cruel drama of a penalty competition.
Are you totally exhausted?
I feel as if I've played the extra time and the penalties as well. You kick every ball when you're on that bench. I'm sure Kevin feels the same. But obviously we're absolutely delighted. I felt we played well tonight.
I suppose you feel that you won this twice in a way.
I felt as if I'd lost it in the first game. And that was the feeling in the dressing room. Obviously with a few days, you know, to get head around it, you realise you're in with a great shout still. But no, it was, the boys were magnificent today. To come here, first time they've been beaten. I know it went to penalties, but I felt that we really played well enough to have won it during the 90 or the extra time. But they made it hard for us. They made it hard. They're a good side.
A rumour from the Chelsea dressing room has it that you were desperate to score in this one.
No, I was not desperate, but I felt, you know, that I could score a goal, and that it came in the last minutes. That's what was good. I think, you know, if we look at the game, I think we were better, and maybe we could do better than this. You know, I thought that we could decide the game also in 90 minutes, but you know, unfortunately, you know, they were back in the game again with the penalty, and then we had to fight back again. But I must give a compliment to the team how they react on that moment, because it was really unfair for us. But you know, that's also football.
Well, it was dramatic stuff, wasn't it? Very much against the odds, bearing in mind Newcastle's home record.
Well, they've got a formidable record at St James's, but I thought the two sides were excellent. Newcastle, to me, played very well. I don't think they'll be disappointed that much. Obviously, they'll be disappointed with the result, but the performance was very good. For the first hour, I thought they were in control, but two big turning points in the game. Obviously, going down to 10 men was a major blow for them, but I thought Ferdinand going off was a blow as well, because he had played so well. He had linked up with Ginola brilliantly in the first half, and they always looked like scoring. Here Ginola picks up deep in his own half. What he is really good at is running with the ball, and you know when he's going to release it, it's going to go on his feet. Ferdinand makes a good run, great turn, comes inside, and a wonderful shot that deserved the goal. But this is a sending off. It's just a ball over the top. Peacock gets caught out. Spencer's onto it quick. He goes to it, then goes and takes it on. Peacock comes in, bit of a reckless challenge. It was a certain penalty kick, probably a bit unlucky for me to be sent off, but that was a turning point. But I mean, Newcastle is still a good side. They played well in the night, and they're still, for me, the best team in the Premiership.
Yeah. Chelsea went out on penalties in the Cup last year. They've gone through this time. That's how.
It was a great result for them. They showed tremendous character because Newcastle did play so well in the first half. You know, they were up against it, defended well against, again, but I thought Hullet was sensational.
Yeah.
You know, his passing, his movement, his touch and his technique. He picks up here, has a quick look round, couple of touches, and then picks it Hughes like 40 yards away, inch perfect. And it's just the touch of Mark Hughes that lets him down. If he had taken it a bit better, closer to the body there, he would have had a good chance. Again, he picks up, this is an even better pass. This is 60, 70 yards. I mean, look at that. I just haven't got the words to describe that pass. And it's that good. A bit reminiscent of Hoddle, really. Hoddle in his prime used to could hit them sort of 50, 60 yards.
He's just come back after injury, could it? And yet he seemed to be all over the pitch.
He played in a freer role. Yeah. I mean, he was in the middle of the park, freer and further forward. I mean, he plays sweeper and he plays well there, but I think he's more effective in a forward role. And tonight, he just picked up and played it, and I thought he was sensational.
Chelsea away to QPR next round. Right, Stockport County were closest to bringing off the shock of round 3. Twice they came back against the cup holders Everton at Goodison. Joe Royle admitted his team were awful and outfought. Well, to see the outcome of tonight's replay at Edgeley Park, Tony Gubber.
Duncan Ferguson was absent, injured, when the FA Cup holders survived that 2-2 draw at Goodison. His return for the replay strengthens Everton's aerial threat. Stockport's danger man is 20-year-old Alan Armstrong, once a Newcastle reserve who couldn't break into the first team. Since his move to Stockport, he's been the top goal scorer for a season and a half and is widely tipped to play at a higher level. And Stockport say he'll be one of 4 up front alongside John Jeffers, Ian Helliwell and number 7 Chris Beaumont, who'll drop back to help in midfield, where they have lost the influential Tom Bennett. He's got a cracked bone in his foot and is replaced by Paul Ware. In addition to Ferguson, Everton also have Craig Short back from injury. He'll join Dave Watson and Gary Ablett as 3 central defenders. And Graham Stewart is preferred up front to Paul Rideout, whose goal won the Littlewood-sponsored FA Cup at Wembley back in May. Graham Pole of Tring is the referee tonight. 47 places separate these teams in football's pecking order, but in the FA Cup, anything is always possible, as Stockport so very nearly proved at Goodison in the first meeting. Neil Edwards gets his first touch, former Welsh youth and under-21 international, who began as a trainee at Leeds. Dave Watson, the captain. Everton win the spell of head tennis. Stewart. It might be short. Armstrong squeezes it out very well. Now, they've got a few bodies here. Jeffers. Oh, he had to claw it away, Neville Southall. They always looked to have the better of the Everton defence when Alan Armstrong squeezed that one out wide. And the goalkeeper from the Premier Division has to make the first save and still to defend at this corner. Beaumont, oh, he just lost his studs. Got ahead of Barry Horn though. And here's Paul Ware. Surely he's overrun that. Well, John Jeffers spent 5 years at Liverpool as a youngster, never got into the first team, and he says he's red through and through, and nothing would give him more pleasure tonight than to beat Everton. And very close there to getting the opening goal. Everton just beginning to show a little bit of their Premiership quality. And Graham Stewart will take the corner. Shorts up from the back, and he won it well. Scored his one and only goal for Everton recently, having made 19 appearances. A recent signing from Derby County. Armstrong's flick on, didn't find Helliwell. Here's Ware. That's a mistake. Well, Watson wasn't sure whether Southall would get there, and he had to take responsibility. Man of the match in the Wembley final, Dave Watson. And Flynn will produce another one of those long throws. Helliwell flicks it on. Matthew Bound! A good long throw again by Michael Flynn. And it always caused confusion and a pile of bodies, and in the middle of them was Matthew Bound. It was Helliwell's flick on. It was helped by a defender as well, and in the middle of the clutch of defenders, Matthew Bound, the former Southampton trainee who they picked up from Southampton's reserves just over a year ago, knocked in his second goal for the club. Here's Jeffers, good turn by Jeffers. Helliwell's underneath it. Oh! Well, at 6'3", he might really have done better with that. It was a beautiful ball played to him. Great turn by Jeffers. And Helliwell towers over the defenders here, wins it cleanly. Well, that might well have been number 2. It's a Everton ball. And Everton are just rocked back here a bit at the moment. Jeff Eckart's shot. Southall always had it covered. He didn't look troubled. But that goal has given the second division side a real lift, and Joe Royle there on the left, looking quite concerned. Here's Kanchelskis. He's got the defender backpedaling. Off the line! 2 of them there to do it in the end, when Ebrel looked as though he was going to score. Parkinson. Here's Horn. Limpar. There are 1 or 2 accusing looks from his teammates, but that's as close as Everton have come. Well, Ebrel's run took him clear, and when finally they got it past Edwards, there were 2 behind him to keep the goal intact. The 2 central defenders, Bound and Flynn. Now Limpar, trying to quicken things up. Graham Stewart. Barry Horn. This is Ebrel. Ablett. Oh yes, Kanchelskis. What a wonderful save by Neil Edwards. But those are the sort of things that he likes. He's brilliant at stopping things like that. Shots and headers that are at an inviting height. You'd struggle all day to beat him. He really is a super goalkeeper. And Paul Ware completes the clearance. But they're still warming their hands here at Stockport in appreciation of a super save by the former Welsh under-21 international. Here's Ebrel. Limpar wanted it. Well, it was well hit, it was on target. It did force a save from the keeper, but it didn't look like beating him. Kanchelskis. Well, there really are tigers in the tackle, Stockport. Here's Helliwell. Chris Bowman. Well, they even got the confidence now, Stockport, to push their right back forward in that attack into a wide attacking position. Sean Conley galloping on the overlap. Flynn with the throw. Well, Everton were imperious last season when they won the FA Cup, beating Newcastle, Tottenham and Manchester United in their last 3 cup ties before meeting Stockport in this season's competition, but at the moment they can't find their way past the second division side. A goal down, and in fairness, they've had only half chances themselves, and Stockport at half-time are well worth their lead. Daniel Amakachi, a second-half substitute for Everton, replacing Anders Limpar, as the FA Cup holders try to salvage something here at Stockport, who incidentally have lost both of their league games since the first cup tie at Goodison. Stockport beaten by Bradford City and Burnley, but they're one up here against Premier League Everton. The case of a team getting up for the cup in no uncertain manner. Joe Royal, well, the expression shows you how serious the situation is. The home supporters gave Stockport a very warm and enthusiastic welcome back onto the field for the second half. Still living in hope of a cup upset. Oh, that's a good ball in. Ablett who headed it out. Todd in quickly. Here's Ware. Conley. Oh, good running by Jeff Eckard. Oh, great strike. Got a hat-trick in the first round against Lincoln. Player who made almost 300 appearances for Fulham in his time. And the expression on the faces of the crowd behind the goal telling you just how close that was. Parkinson just bustled out of it. There's Jeffers into Armstrong. Eckhart. Jeffers. Oh, it's gone wide. Oh, John Jeffers with a great opportunity to kill Everton off at the start of the second half, or go a long way towards it, but he hit it with the outside of the boot. Well, he overran it, Kanchelskis, and it rather let Stockport off the hook, or did it? Here's Amakachi. Now this looks threatening. Ferguson. Well, it's all to no avail anyway, because somewhere in all the cacophony of noise, the linesman had put his flag up on this far side. Almost to the penalty spot. And now another chance. Well, they're almost as good as a corner. Throws as long as this. Just waiting for his central defensive partner, Matthew Bound, to come up. Armstrong, still there. Armstrong, Bound. Oh, it hit somebody on the hands. Graham Pole has put his hands behind his back, but it certainly looked as if it struck somebody on the arm or on the hand. That's hooked over the top. Here's Kanchelskis. Oh, it's over the top. And Amakachi congratulates Neil Edwards because he must have got a hand on it. It's a corner. But Kanchelskis will surely feel that he should have scored. Graham Stewart to take the corner, and still Everton press and look for this equaliser. Ferguson. Oh, it's there! Ferguson gets the equaliser from the corner. And finally, the height of Duncan Ferguson brings Everton its reward. Edwards starts to come. Well, his fingertips were just about on the ball, but Ferguson towered over the top of him. And it's one apiece. Maybe Stockport's brave fight is going to end in defeat after all. We've got to have a result tonight. Extra time and penalties. Kanchelskis wants it in the air. Stewart looks up. Great stop, Edwards, off the line. Everton say it was over. Referee says not. It was Lee Todd who got it out. Watson getting first to it. Here's Ebrel. Horn. Kanchelskis. Good shot. Oh, it's loose. It's 2. Graham Stewart. And Everton have scored twice in the matter of minutes. The header from Ferguson to make it level. And now Graham Stewart pops in his 10th of the season after the ball came back off the save by the goalkeeper. That spins out to Amakachi. Good save again by Edwards, and the job completed by Matthew Bound. The Stockport support just a little bit subdued. Here's Armstrong. Armstrong. Yes! Oh, what timing! It's 2-2 again. And Everton aren't yet safe. Again, a lovely little touch by the youngster. The defenders dived in desperately, but he shot unerringly past Southall. With 2 minutes left of the 90, and just as the tannoy here was announcing that the match sponsors had made him man of the match. I'm not sure he'd done enough previously to justify that, but he has now. Armstrong's 12th of the season. It's 2-2, and extra time looms now as a real possibility. Ebrel bursting through. Oh, Ebrel! Fantastic! What a blow to the heart for Stockport, right from the kickoff. Ebrel just ran right through the middle of them. They were still thinking, I'm sure, about the equaliser and the prospect of extra time. And a team are never more vulnerable than when they've just scored. And they stood still. They backed off him. Nobody got in a tackle. What a goal by John Ebrel. And what a turnaround in this match. In a real rip-roaring cup tie. Here's Armstrong. This is Ferguson for Everton. Well, it's an FA Cup tie that was full of the magic of the competition. Dave Jones's Stockport team was so close to a sensational victory, really. A warm embrace between him and Joe Royle, and there are now tears from young Alan Armstrong. Stockport, who led through Matthew Bound, they saw Everton fight back in the second half with 2 goals from Ferguson and Graham Stewart, 2 in the space of 2 minutes, incidentally. Armstrong looked as if he'd secured at least extra time and kept the tie alive, but my John Ebrel, right from the kickoff, he swept down the other end, an absolute corker. But it's been a great experience for Stockport and for young players like Armstrong, who many feel will grace football for many years to come.
Joe, in all honesty, did you think you were out?
Never. I can honestly say that. I mean, they frightened the life out of us, but I always felt that one of our sort of big game, big name players would come right, and fortunately 2 of them did within a couple of minutes. First Duncan and then Andre Kanchelskis, and that just made the difference. I thought we were going for extra time when they equalised, and then magnificent goal from John Ebrel, but over the 2 legs they frightened the lives out of us, really.
What were your emotions when you nicked it into the penalty area, got free of the defenders and beat Southall?
Well, I can't really explain it. It was unbelievable. I just so elated that I'd scored, and then
30 seconds later, go back down the other end and them have scored and just shut us, yeah.
Played a lot of good stuff all season, and we knew we had a chance. If they believed in themselves, we knew we had a good chance. And it's been proved over the 2 games. And as I said to the press before, if I was going to lose, then, I mean, it's a nice club to lose to.
Well, he's got associations at Everton, of course, hasn't he? But Joe Roll will be pleased to get that one out of the way, because Stockport were magnificent over the 2
It was a
matches.
magnificent game, and Stockport, the players and the staff and the supporters will wake up in the morning, they won't believe it because it was so close yet so far. There are a couple of chances at 1-0 that if they had taken them, it might have been different. This is a great chance for John Jeffers. He does extremely well. He's got a great left foot. I used to play with him at Liverpool, actually. And he picks it up here, comes in his left peg. He gives it and goes. And when he gets it back, he has a great first touch. And as I say, his left peg is really good. But he's got to hit the target there. And if that had gone in, it might have been different. But you've got to give Everton 10 out of 10 for creeping back into the game.
Yeah, they didn't fight in the first tie, but they did today.
They did, and they needed to, because if they hadn't have done, there would have been history.
Yeah, and they're home to Port Vale. Right, we'll have tonight's other cup goals later in the programme, but first let's give you a result from Scotland. It's in the Premier League up there, and it's Hearts 1, Celtic 2. Andy Walker with a late winner for Celtic, who are now just 2 points behind the leaders, Rangers. Well, Rugby's Five Nations Championship gets underway on Saturday with England away to France and Ireland playing Scotland. Wales sit the first Saturday out. The game, of course, is in the throes of monumental change. Only